The Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show on News Talk KCLI.
Welcome back to the Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show, 7:15. Todd with you. Friday morning, getting ready for the weekend, and up bright and early, a model citizen from Cordell, Oklahoma, a real housewife of Western Oklahoma, Miss Aimee Jones. Good morning, Aimee.
Hi, Todd. Very nice to be here with you, even though it is early and still dark outside.
It is tough for a real housewife to wake up at this time, right?
It is. But I've added you to the very short, very exclusive list of things that will get me out of bed before 7 a.m. So congratulations.
Well, thank you for that. Well, we appreciate you coming in here and seeing what radio people look like early in the morning. It's not pretty. Thank you for not throwing up a little bit. Well, Aimee, you are, in addition to being a real housewife of Western Oklahoma, you are a local columnist and a blogger. You have a column that appears in the Elk City paper, also in the Cordell Beacon. And is this something that you've always wanted to do? Has there been a writer inside of you for years just dying to get out, or was this just kind of an accident?
I would like to say yes, but actually, no. I mean, I've always been an avid reader. But as far as the writing, it all really started with Facebook. And I tease a lot, and I'll write, thank God for Facebook at the bottom of posts sometimes. But, I mean, I actually mean it. It has really just changed my life over the past 4 months. And I have to, going back to where it all started, I have to really give my husband props for this and all good things in my life. But he ran into Holly Manning, one of the owners of the Daily Elk City.
Sure.
And they were just talking shop and business. And he said, well, my wife's a writer. And when he told me that, I was like, Randy, I write Facebook posts. I don't write articles, or I'm not a journalist. But she was interested, and she asked him to ask me to just write up something I thought might work for a weekly run in their paper. And so that's where I took a couple weeks and really thought about what it is I would want to offer at that scale, and came up with the Real Housewife column.
Well, it's a really fun read, and now it's turned into kind of like an advice column, a little like Dear Abby, but
yes.
Not as old and ancient in your replies, because people from Western Oklahoma have written in, hey, my husband is a neat freak, I'm a slob, and you give great advice about that, because that's something you've lived through, right?
Exactly, right. And in my advice, it's not so much anything to live by or a step-by-step on, what to do in your life. It's more just my thoughts. One of my favorite things when I need to rant or I need to talk is I have about 5 or 6 girlfriends that I call, and we sit around on couches and drink coffee, and we just hash it out, and we all kind of, have the same thoughts and the same kind of values. But when someone else says something, even the same thing in a different way, sometimes that's just what it takes to click, And so that's kind of what I wanted to bring and expand on a grander scale, is just that little girl time that I think we women do need, but with our busy schedules, I don't think that we really take the time anymore to talk about those kind of things. So it's more, it's there's a little bit of wisdom, and it's not necessarily from me. I'm just a good listener. I listen to my friends. I listen to Randy's grandma. I listen to, my mom, my sister. And so I just kind of compile all that, and I just, put something out there, mix it in with a little humor. And
I was going to say there's a lot of humor, actually, which is one of the things I enjoy, because I found myself reading it just because, and, I'm a guy, obviously, but I'm like, hey, that's pretty cute stuff. And then you started blogging as well.
Yes, the blog did come about because of the column I have on Facebook. Of course, I have friends across the country, and they were wanting to be able to read it without necessarily having to get a subscription to our local paper. And so I started the blog. It's www.ajoneswrites.com. You can also find it at aimee-jones.com, but I recently changed that because my name is Aimee, and I realized that
confuses people.
Yes, I realized very quickly I needed to change that. So, but the blog has, at the top, it has different tabs, and the first tab says in print, and that's where you can find kind of the archives of the column, which we just printed number 16 this last week, so you can find all the past columns there. And then next to that is a tab called Sorry Love, and that's kind of an online romantic comedy that I started that has a really fun story to it.
And you're actually just adding chapters
That's right.
weekly or monthly, just whenever you feel
weekly.
the inspiration.
They're supposed
Really?
to be
Okay.
weekly. Yeah, and I've kept to that thus far, but that has a Facebook origination as well. I have a friend named Leslie on Facebook, and she had wrote a post about when she was in a store after Christmas. It was hustling and bustling, and some man bumped into her. And then he turned around and in this really dreamy British accent said, "Oh, sorry, love," which that's an awful, awful British accent. And she was actually kind of put off by it. She was saying, a simple "excuse me" would have sufficed. And of course, all of us women were like, "What are you talking about?"
Every girl loves a guy with an accent.
Exactly.
How funny.
And I was like, "Oh, romantic interludes with foreign strangers are just wasted on you practical times." Because I just wrote a whole book in my head based on those two words.
That's great.
And so, but, we laughed about it. But then I was like, you know what, I really did just write a book in my head. I have this plot, and so I wrote it down and posted it on her wall and posted it on the blog. And then before too long, I was getting some requests for more. And so I thought, okay, this will be good, a good little exercise. And it's been so much fun. I think there's about 200 people that are following Sorry Love. So, out in the big blog world, that's not huge. But in my little world, it's amazing. So it's been fun.
It's amazing that your whole story and everything started with Facebook because so many people use Facebook for different reasons. We've all been guilty probably of rants from time to time.
Right.
Some funny, some not so funny. But it's a great way to keep up with friends and family. But I find myself thinking that I have to be on Facebook. I have to say something funny all the time. So weird. Sometimes I won't post for a week or two.
Right.
And sometimes I post 3 or 4 things a day. And I think Facebook is just a way for me to be stupid and say something funny. You've turned it into a career now, see?
Yeah, and the great thing about Facebook is you can if you have enough friends, you can always find someone to support whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
I could go on right now and post that I'm going to go get a tattoo of Johnny Depp, on my shoulder or something.
That's weird because I have one.
Yeah, right. And there would be a select group of people that'd be like, "Oh, you go, girl, post pics when you're done," So Facebook is it's awesome that way. It's an amazing support group, and I love my Facebook friends. Like I said, none of this would have ever happened without their encouragement and their support. And
the feedback is great because when you post something on Facebook and now on your blog or you post a new chapter to your story, as you mentioned, you get that instant feedback, which isn't there. You can say, well, I sold this many books if you had a regular, in-print book, but the instant feedback that you get from the reader saying, hey, this was awesome, or hey, I didn't really like the way you took it there. Well, thanks a lot.
Exactly.
But you get it instantly.
Yeah, and that helped me take the baby steps. If publishing and so forth were as traditional as it used to be, I don't know that I'd be where I'm at. Because I could, it started with a Facebook post, good response, then I crept into the column, good response. Now I have the blog, good response. So, it's encouraging along the way, so you keep taking that step forward.
So what's next? Your own talk show like Ellen or,
right.
Oprah or...
Well, I have a serious project I am working on because my personal goal right now is to complete a novel and just start, peddling it around and see, what happens. And I'm a member of a little organization called American Christian Fiction Writers. And they have a contest each year for amateur novelists, and it's called the Genesis Contest. And so I'm writing it's a suspense novel with some romantic elements, of course.
Shocking.
Yeah. And so I'm hoping to get that polished up and finished soon so I can get that submitted and see what happens. So that's kind of on the horizon, but the column and the blog and just my Facebook posts keep me pretty busy as it is right now.
We're talking with local columnist and blogger Aimee Jones, back with more right after this on the Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show.
Hi, I'm the Reverend Lynn Brock of the Weatherford First United Methodist Church, and this is Faith Pray. On a scorching midsummer day, a gas station owner in Arizona stood hosing the underground gas lines with water to prevent vapor lock caused by the extreme heat. As he did this, a woman pulled up at the gas pumps. He laid down the hose and walked to her car. "Hello," he said. "What were you doing there?" she asked. watering down the gas," he replied. "Well," the woman exclaimed indignantly, "at least you admit it." And she put the car in gear and she drove away. You know, if you're going to tell the truth, be careful to tell all the truth. Otherwise, you may end up watering down your reputation while you're watering down the gas. You're invited to join us for worship every Sunday morning at 10:30 at the First United Methodist Church. You have a peace-filled day.
The annual German Feast and Auction at Corn Bible Academy is on February 4th. The feast begins with a silent auction starting at 10 a.m., with the live auction starting at 1. Lunch is from 11:30 to 1:30, and dinner is from 5 to 7. Auction items include homemade jelly, all kinds of homemade food, handmade quilts, and trips all over the world, including a trip to Hawaii and England. Don't miss out on the German Feast in Corn on February 4th. Tickets for adults are $10 and for kids $6. For more information about the German Feast, contact 343-2262. That's 343-2262.
More Than Medicine makes taking care of Valentine's Day easy at Weatherford's best one-stop gift shop. Choose from a great selection of kids' tray cards, plus plates and cups for those Valentine parties. Check out the new Farmhouse Fresh Bath and Body line with natural products. Make a custom Valentine with the Embellish Your Story collection. Order a balloon bouquet and get free local delivery. Make sure to pre-order and choose from a variety of fragrances for men and women. You're sure to find something perfect for your Valentine at More Than Medicine in downtown Weatherford.
Right to the point, 3-ball good. Ben Corral.
News Talk KCLI is your home for Red Tornado basketball.
Inbounds past page 90. Ahead it goes to Haley Adams, and that's the ball game. The Clinton Lady Reds get their first win of the
Follow
season.
the Reds and Lady Reds all season long right here on News Talk KCLI and newstalkkcli.com. Clinton High School basketball is made possible by the Red Tornado Sportscaster Club, including these members.
This is David Barong with Grand Rental Station of Clinton. When you throw a party, let Grand Rental Station help. We have dunk tanks, inflatables, popcorn, cotton candy machines, tables, tents, chairs, and more. Grand Rental Station, your best stop for party rentals.
Lucille's Nutrition Shop has the complete line of Nature's Sunshine products and Bob Red Mills products. They will also do a complete body evaluation to help you get back to a healthier you at Lucille's Nutrition Shop, located on Frisco in Clinton.
The Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show on News Talk KCLI.
Welcome back to the Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show, 728. Todd Brunner along with local columnist Aimee Jones from Cordell, Oklahoma. Now, Aimee, you've been writing your column and writing your blog, and you kind of call it yourself the Real Housewife of Western Oklahoma, because we all know about the Real Housewives of New Jersey and Orange County. Now, what is the difference from those kind of housewives to being a real housewife in Western Oklahoma? What has your life been about these 15 years?
Yeah, and you say the Real Housewife. I definitely, would prefer a Real Housewife, because if we were nominating women to represent us housewives out here, I could definitely name a few more that are doing it better. Women that actually get out of bed and make breakfast and get dressed, for the day. But
that's not you. Is that what you're saying? Takes you a while to get motivated, right?
And the term housewife is because of the things you listed: the Real Housewife show, the Desperate Housewife show. It's such a broader term. It's not just the traditional. I mean, like me, the wife and 4 kids, and I stay at home, but it's also, there's single mothers, there's, women that are just married that don't have kids, and single women, and that's one thing I really wanted to try to encompass in the column, and not just make it geared just toward motherhood or just toward marriage. And so sometimes we'll just talk about, I think this week we're talking about hair.
Oh, no.
So it kind of takes in everything. And yeah, I draw a lot from my kids and my experiences. And, my Facebook posts there's always something about my children or something funny they've done. And
you have 4 kids, right?
I do. We have 3 boys and then a little princess in the house. Yeah. So there's always something new, to post about.
Well, and I guess the kind of drama that a Real Housewife of Western Oklahoma has is a lot different than somebody in Beverly Hills. Drama may be the little one throwing up on that new dress or something, right? That's
right. Yeah, it's much more down to earth. I do like to shop my local stores and so forth, but I'm not spending $25,000 on sunglasses or anything like that. And that's one thing about the column I wanted is, self-help is so big these days, and columns and advice books, but most of it is not. It doesn't come from where we're at, I mean, here in our little Bible Belt, which I'm still proud to live in.
You bet.
We there's just certain values and certain things that we respect that aren't always acknowledged in some of those advice columns and so forth. And so I really wanted to stay true to things like family and just those values that you don't always see out there in the big world.
And there's so much more to relationships, too, and being a mother and a wife than just men are from Mars and women are from Venus, right? Sometimes those advice books are great, but they're a little idealistic, and
right.
The real world is a lot different than what you can put in a book, right?
Absolutely, right, yeah. I mean, I'd rather read about real life any day, which is probably why reality TV is so huge.
Yeah.
I mean, people, the produced shows are fun, but, it's a lot more fun just to watch people where they're at and to hear people where they're at. I mean, that's real. That's something you can relate to.
But what about cat fights? Surely, as a Western Oklahoma housewife, there are some cat fights from time to time, right? Come on, give me some drama
I have
here.
some friends at home really tapping their foot right now or cringing, wondering what I'm going to say. No, I don't experience any of that with my friends, and if I did, I'd probably, the one thing about living in Western Oklahoma is it is a small community.
Yeah.
I don't think the show would work out here. I don't. No one would have any friends after it was over.
Well, it's still fun, though. I think being out here in Western Oklahoma, and you're from Mustang originally, but
right.
You've got Oklahoma in you, so you know what the values are, and living in a small town. I'm sure it was a shock at first moving to a little town like Cordell growing up close to the city, but you've grown to love it out here.
I have. We just went back to Cordell recently after they had their recent tragedy and went back to church there, and it was such a good feeling. I mean, Mustang is my hometown, but Cordell is one of my hometowns too. And my 3 boys grew up there. They were born there. Everyone watched them grow into young men there. So it is. I really, Cordell will always have a little special place. Yeah.
Well, it shapes us, whether you were born there or whether you're just living there. Cordell has a way of shaping it. And yes, I'm partial because I'm from Cordell too. But Aimee Jones, how can people find your blog and where can they read your column again?
Yeah, it's www.ajoneswrites.com. And then also, that's also my Twitter handle. I don't know if you call it a handle on Twitter, but it's at ajoneswrites is my Twitter name. And then also Facebook. My Facebook address is housewife.reallife. And definitely find me on Facebook, friend me. I use my personal profile as my public when I'm not really a fan of the pages. They're kind of not, you can't really communicate as well. And so definitely it's public. It's there for everyone. Friend me and join in our little fun discussions. And we'll have a good time.
Well, we appreciate you waking up early and visiting with us. It was nice to get to know you.
Thank you. It was great to be here.
We'll have you back soon. Aimee Jones, ladies and gentlemen, stick around. News on the way from Mike Smith. First, we check in with the Radio Oklahoma Network.